To jump in to a gold-plated bracelet. Sevilla Silver is the brand. It's the one I've been wearing. It's the one we've been talking about. I want to bring my special guest in right away because she is a true jewelry expert. She's been talking to folks at home about jewelry for many years. We're super excited to have her part of our HSN family. So her name is Jana. And Jana Lauren is standing by. I see you right there on Skype, Jana. It's our first show together, first of many, many shows.
I know.
So
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here to tell us about, I know we just have two quick specials, but I wanted to get to you right away because I want you to explain to everybody that even though it's $12.77, this is all precious metals. This is a bracelet you don't want to miss out on.
Yeah. Well, we have two quick extraordinary specials. So this is simple elegance at its finest. Sevilla Silver is known for their quality. This is handcrafted in Italy, beautiful detailing. This is going to be all genuine sterling silver, and then it is plated and finished in extraordinary gold. So you have the powerful presence of gold without having to pay the price tag. Now, this is done in a unreal style because basically what you have an option, by the way, and both are the same price. You can get this in 7¼ inches or in 8 inches. And it's an interwoven Italian-made link design that's literally designed to catch and radiate light. It has a lobster claw clasp, diamond cut twinkle link, which basically means radiant brilliance at its finest. It means sparkle, it means light return. Think about iconic style, a simple, elegant gold bracelet, bam, done for days, ladies. Definitely, here's what I'm thinking. I'm already thinking holiday shopping. I'm thinking birthdays, anniversaries. I'm thinking giftables, grandkids, daughters, friends. Because for $12.70, like I can't, Helen, I can't.
Oh, I mean, I love the idea of the gift closet because I am like a proponent of the gift closet because when it comes to the holidays, even though I feel like this year is going to be different than every other year we've ever lived in existence, we're still going to give gifts to our friends, and we may not have as much money as we did, some of us. So to give the gift of precious metal on a flex pay of $4.26, but maybe you're just like a jewelry aficionado and you have a gorgeous solid gold watch and you've always wanted a sparkly gold to go back with it. You did not expect to spend $12.99, but why pay more? By the way, in the 8-inch, I only have 150 left. This is gonna sell out. These are gonna go 100% gonna sell out in the 8-inch.
Like you're just gonna get one, you're gonna get multiple. Here's the thing, this is not lightweight. It's not, you know, kind of that fragile piece. This is ignited with sparkle. There's substance here. And it's Italian crafted. I spent last summer in Florence learning about the workmanship and what sets Italy apart. As far as the workmanship in metals, whether it's gold or silver. And this was something when I was going through the information from Bill, who represents this particular brand, he basically said this was an older buy. If you look at the metal market right now, this is not feasible on what we're working with.
Oh, you look at silver prices. I had a show talking about coins. The silver coins were like, everything like flew out of the door because we were presenting it at prices from like, you know, bought it even 6 months ago. It's gone through the roof. This would not be a $12.77. There is nothing else in this but sterling silver and gold. There is nothing else in it.
Bathed in gold. Gold is knocking on what, $1,800, $1,900 an ounce? Like, no. And then you've got silver at what, $17, $18? It changes
every day. So I have no idea.
It changes every day.
It changes every single day.
The thing is this is high end. It's elegant. At the end of the day, why do we love our jewelry? Typically, it's the impact it makes from across the room. That has sparkle. That has shine. There's no way anyone looks at an Italian crafted bracelet and was like, what did you spend $12.77 on this? No, they're going to think you spent a fortune on them. Look at that radiate, that sparkle, that classic elegance.
Yeah, and by the way, we have two sizes. The 7¼ is more available than the 8. I have 75 left in the size 8. 75. We're in 100 million homes. It's just, and you can see we've sold 600. I mean, it's flying out the door. Think about layering it. think about like the first piece of precious metal gift that you have like I have a daughter who's 20, and maybe when she was 15, I wouldn't have bought her something nice because I know she would have lost it, but now I think she's of the age where I think she would take care of it. But still, $12.77 is a lot less like, oh my gosh, I lost my bracelet than $400, you know?
Think about an anklet even. You know, think about layering this up. How do you want to style this? But also I would think about the holidays are going to sneak up on us, and it is going to be hard this year. Who are we all kidding? 2020 has offered all the curveballs one can imagine. So for $12.77 to get beautiful crafted Italian designs, that's next level of luxury. And that is just a mind-boggling, unbelievable opportunity. Or as I like to call them, this is a shopportunity at its finest.
Shopportunity, girl. I'm already stealing things from you. Our first date, and I'm already stealing shopportunity.
I love.
That's a good one.
Our first date.
It's our first date. I'm already taking things from you. Because that's exactly what this is. We've got less than a minute. We're going to talk about it for less than a minute. You can see we're coming up to almost 1,000 sold. Just made in Italy. This is made in Italy. Tell everybody, why is made in Italy? Why does that mean something when it comes to fine jewelry?
They started this. They were working with metals. The thing is you look back at the heritage, the history of it all. They've been working with metals. It's not ever a first generation Italian jeweler. These are families upon families. You walk around the streets in Florence and they are lined with silver and gold because of the fact that nobody on the face of the earth has figured out the design, the craftsmanship as the level that they have. It's incredible.
All right, well, we're gonna have to move on and talk about our next piece because there's 340 left and it will sell out completely. So we will let you know when it's gone, but I've got the necklace that I popped on. We just have two pieces of jewelry that are, and you saw the first one, it's about to sell out.